our goal is always year in, year out to try to just compete to the best of what we're capable of doing. And I feel really good about this group. We've got a really good group back, and we had a really good group of returners, and a really good group of newcomers, I should say. And so if we can combine those two and blend them, I think we have a chance to compete and to achieve at the level that we're capable of, which is always our goal.
You talk about that blending of the newcomers, returnees. Talk about how that process comes about for you as a veteran coach.
Well, sometimes it can be difficult because you're trying to manage egos, you're trying to manage different talent levels, different personalities, but to this point, our guys have been really solid, and I think they're really good guys. And when you have good character people in the program, as well as good players, it makes that blending process a lot easier. As roles become developed and kind of ingrained into our program, there'll be challenges, but I think our guys are good enough people and good enough teammates to where I think they'll be fine with whatever role they end up incurring. In particular, our seniors, Michael Joseph, Casey Harris, and Rafe King, and Darian Christian, are all guys that contributed last year for us, and all have really good leadership traits. I think some lead by example, some are more vocal than others, but I think our leadership to this point has been outstanding, and I think that's why we've been able to get to the point that we are this early in the season. Teams that have really good leadership like that usually tend to perform at a good level earlier in the year, and there tends to be a little bit less of a learning curve, and so I feel really good about what our returners have done with regards to their leadership through the preseason so far.
Talk about now that you've been able to have them out on the court and take them through some instruction. Talk about how there's just a complete buy-in to that system for Pacific basketball success.
Well, I think you can see it in the way they play, and I think you can see it in the way they treat each other. Our group, I think, is really tight-knit off the floor as well as on the floor, which is always encouraging. Now, again, we're going to have roles that are going to be established here. Playing time is going to be divvied out, and there are always challenges that relate to that, because when you take a talented group of guys that we're all really good players at whatever level they've come from, I think at times there are challenges with that. But this group, to this point, has been very tight-knit, has been very hard-working. We haven't played yet, but I've been real pleased with where we are at this point in the season. Well, our guard play is going to be very crucial for us this year. I think one of the limiting factors to our success last year was our inconsistency in shooting the basketball. And so that was a real point of emphasis with our recruiting this offseason, was to go out and get some guys and get a depth of guys who could shoot the ball. And I think we were able to accomplish that. But when you talk about our guards, I think you have to start with Casey Harrison, who's our leading returning scorer, was an all-league player for us last year, and really has bought in to improving his game and himself in the offseason. He stayed around here all summer and just worked out. And you can really see that in his game. He's changed his body. He's a lot more multi-dimensional than he was a year ago. So I'm expecting really big things out of him. Darian Christian has been our backup point guard the last 2 years. Another guy that really has bought in and really done a good job in the offseason at working on his body and improving himself on the basketball floor. And then I feel really good about a freshman point guard that we brought in, Davis Holly from Bend, who I think just has a different level of feel to the game and a different level of command. So from a point guard position, I feel great about that. The two guard spot is going to be done by committee. J.J. Spittler really emerged for us late last year and did a really good job for us in some key moments late in the season last year, and looks really good to this point in the season. And then we brought in a group of newcomers, a group of recruits that I think will all battle for playing time at the two guard spot. At the three position, Michael Joseph, another mainstay for us. I consider him to be the best defender in the league. Another guy that stayed all summer to work on his game and has really added, I think, some perimeter shooting to a really good game off the bounce, in addition to being a great defender. So he averaged almost 10 points a game for us last year, and I'm really high on him. And he's one of those guys that's really taken kind of the charge with the leadership role in our team to this point. And then also at the three, we'll have some guys battling for minutes at the three spot as well. So really excited about our group of guards. Again, a good blend of newcomers and returners, and I think it'll give us a lot more depth and a lot more weaponry on the perimeter. Well, we definitely are a throwback program. We throw the ball inside, we preach post play. We really try to do a good job at developing our posts. Andy McCloskey, my post coach, is one of the best as far as I'm concerned, anywhere at developing post players. So I think same thing. We've got a good group of posts, a lot of newcomers in this group, but one returner that I think has a chance to really take a step into a whole different realm is Nate Oluwo, who started for us as a sophomore all last year and really is starting to figure out how to score on the block. He's always been a great athlete, been a very good defender, shot blocker, rebounder, but his offensive skills and his offensive game have really improved dramatically, and so he looks really good through the preseason. And then we kind of have a group of big guys in addition to Nate. One in particular, Rafe King, who played the 3 for us, 2-3 for us last year. We've moved him over to the 4, and I've been really excited about him at the 4. He really gives us a dimension of a guy that can play inside and outside. I feel like it's a more natural position for him. Another great senior leader who I think is going to have a breakout season for us. And then new guys that we brought in, Shane Rixey from Clackamas Community College, Nick Edens from Highlight Community College, and then J.B. Ewell, who played at Chemeketa Community College 2 years ago, I think really give us a great deal of depth and firepower on the front line. So I feel really positive about our group of frontline guys and the different things that we can do with them, playing inside and a little bit on the perimeter as well. Well, it's, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, it's one of the best Division III conferences in the country. And since I've been in the league, Whitworth has won the league every year. Whitman's been a close second, and in fact went farther in national play last year than Whitworth did. But those are the top two teams in the league. And then after that, it's been a dogfight. And so our goal is to continue to try to develop and improve so that we can compete with the top teams in our league, Whitworth and Whitman. And we've gotten better at that year in, year out. We've beaten Whitman a couple times in some really good games and been closer with Whitworth. So our goal is to ultimately be one of those teams and compete at that level. And that's what we're striving towards each and every day we come to practice. Well, the first thing we always want to do is try to play as many Division III opponents as we can. We have 7 of 9 this year, which is the most that we've had, which is great. I think playing Division III competition gives you a more realistic look at what you're going to see during the Northwest Conference play, and we've been able to accomplish that. The second thing is to try to get our guys some traveling experience, to go to some different places. And we've been able to do some really neat things with that the last few years, and we're going to California twice this year, which will be great. We've also got a good home slate on the schedule, so it will be challenging, but I think it's going to be an accurate representation of what we'll see in league, and will allow us to try different combinations, look at different guys so that we can maximize our output once we get into conference play.